Fabulous. So I'm here reporting for Tor.com, and I am talking to some of the creators and formative voices behind Mystery Science Theater 3000, which is a vast formative influence on a lot of our science fiction readership and a lot of geeks in general. It's become almost totemic in the geek community. And I think that this show has probably been largely responsible for increasing by about 1,000-fold the chances that in any given bad movie that somebody goes to in a movie theater, somebody in the audience is going to shout a snarky comment at the screen. How do you guys feel about your role in this development?
Well, I don't think it's good to talk in real movie theaters. That's just annoying for everybody.
Unless it's really fun. So and then we'll take credit for that.
Yes, that only the good stuff.
So you think you've had a role in raising the general wit of...
Well, all right, Your Honor, let's back up and let's look at this phenomenon. I would argue that people have been talking back to their screenings for as long as there's been screenings or people. In other words, you see somebody present something goofy to you, your innate human reflex is to say, no, I will not accept that. That is not truthful, or that, you know. So talking back to the screens is something that we've all done.
I think it goes back to cave painting. You know, the first guy who did a cave painting, and then another guy came in and went, you know, look at that buffalo, or, you know, I think that's not his spear he's holding.
And all we did with Mystery Science was capitalize on that cave painting critique phenomenon. So I don't know if I buy your central argument that we're responsible for a reflex that's probably in our DNA. It's got to be there.
Interesting. So, do you think anything about the DIY nature of the show helped in the early years of the show help people feel like they were closely connected enough to it that they could emulate this sort of behavior?
I think there was something very approachable about the characters of the show being made out of household objects and bowling pins. I think that, in fact, that, you know, it's really a throwback to those television shows we saw as kids growing up, where the weatherman on the side was Count Dracula on the weekend, or the sports guy was a clown. Of course, sports guys are clowns. I guess I'm having trouble making my point. The point being, there was sort of a charming handmade quality about those shows, and you embraced them very personally because you didn't have your interweb. You couldn't get Spanish TV if you wanted to, unless you flew to Spain. So who your local matinee show was, or your late night movie chiller show was very much yours. It wasn't the next city over that would have its own set. And I think our show had that sort of, you know, we can embrace this as our own sort of quality to it, and a lot of it had to do with the look and feel of how it was made.
So since our readership is largely science fiction fans, I feel like the people that were watching MST3K, at least while it was on Comedy Central, were obviously very responsive to the notions of mad scientists and robots. And I think the show has also been a strong contributor to the friendliness of robots. And we've gone from a history of science fiction movies with threatening, dangerous robots, and now we're in an environment where we've got movies like WALL-E, where incredibly friendly protagonists, and we've got Roombas in our homes, and lots of.
Although Eva, was it Eva or Eve?
It's pronounced Eva in the film. But
Eva, she's very, very powerful. A little scary at first.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, so is your question? Did we have a hand in softening the image of robots?
I mean, I think that, but I feel like there's two currents that are going here. There's while certainly they're around us all the time, and we've become to expect robots to be our friends. I think there's also the undercurrent of books like Daniel H. Wilson's How to Survive a Robot Uprising, where people say that as they come into our environment, they're eventually going to be they might eventually be positioning themselves for some sort of predominance. So. How do you feel about the predominance of robots in today's culture? Is it promising or threatening?
I think it's threatening. I would be very suspicious of the machines. Although the Roomba is not going to be a problem.
I think it's not mobile enough on its own.
Have you tried the Roomba?
I have not tried the Roomba, but I think it's...
The Roomba needs some help.
If it can't navigate enough on its own, it's never going to take over.
I've been impressed by, you ever book a train on Amtrak? You ever try that?
Yeah.
You remember the robot that you hear, the voice robot?
Mm-hmm.
Very friendly, conversational. Okay, I heard that. Did you say Seattle? Oh, good. I can live with that kind of robot. I think if that is an evil robot, it's very, very good because I'm not aware of its plans to slowly strangulate humanity and take over the world. So I think I'll be the sheep that's led to slaughter, blissful, because I'm totally unaware that I'm about to be slaughtered by the Amtrak voice robot.
So as long as they talk to us and see.
As long as if they tell me that I'm going to get to Seattle on time and they figure that out, go ahead, shear me, whatever you need to do.
Luckily, we've probably got a few years before we're at the breaking point of our relationship with robots.
Although I did notice in WALL-E, you mentioned WALL-E,
Mm-hmm.
Hal was back.
Yes, indeed.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they say that the ones with the glowing red eyes are the ones that you got to watch out for.
Yes.
So luckily, all of your robots can be friendly. because
My
none of them have
hamster has glowing
eyes.
red eyes. I'm very fearful of my hamster.
We should be fearful of the hamster uprising and not the machines. The machines is merely a distraction.
I think they can gnaw through the cages and they just choose not to.
I see.
And there'll come a day.
Just make sure that your hamster doesn't talk to any of the household appliances, and you'll hopefully be able to curb it.
I've got something to do when I get home. All right.